currently have my microphone, but I do have my basket, and we are headed to the garden to grab a couple things. I have to freeze zucchini and pick some cucumbers for pickling. Cucumbers are growing like crazy. The peppers are huge. They're knee-high. We have been killing squash bugs like crazy over here on these zucchini to hopefully get some good harvest. My favorite way to preserve zucchini is to actually shred it and freeze it. It's perfect for zucchini muffins or cupcakes or even cake or bread. If you want, you can pick the smaller ones. They're more tender and they're better for like fresh eating and things like that. Should have picked a bigger basket. I'm gonna pick this one. It's still a little small, but I know by the time that I come out here next, it's going to be huge. So I'll just get it now while I'm already out here. Also, these orange accordion tomatoes are insane. I wish you could see how big the one back there really is. I mean, they're huge and they're beautiful. Look at that. They're everywhere too. This plant is very prolific. Okay, I think that's it for zucchini. Let's go see how many cucumbers there are. Oh, there's a little bee up in there doing his job. Oh, there's a little bee in there working hard. Thanks, buddy. Okay. Oh, it's so hard to find them. They're everywhere. Obviously, you can wait until they're a little bigger. These are a pickling variety, so you want to get them when they're about 3 to 4 inches, and you don't want them to start turning white. However, they can turn white if they're low to the ground and not getting a lot of sunlight. The amount of bees up in here this morning is beautiful. They are working super hard right now. Oh, these are my Market More cucumbers. So these ones are a larger variety. I am gonna pick this one just because it is on the ground, and the ones that are on the ground, I don't want them to stay on the ground just because they can rot. So I'm picking the ones low down right now, just to keep them from getting gross. And picking them this early will make sure that the plant produces more flowers, which means more cucumbers, higher up later on in the season. I had to put them down underneath the zucchini because I'm already running out of room. Okay, back over here. These ones are, again, pickles. And like I said, the bees are just working super hard this morning. Okay, I did pick some of these the other day, so I don't think there's too many, but they have been growing like crazy. I think it's all the rain that did it, and now we're getting a lot of sun. And then as these are growing, I'm just kind of trying to push them up into the other ones so that way they trellis up. I don't want them on the ground, again, just because with the amount of rain we get, they do rot. Oh my gosh, this one's getting a little too big. Perfect. No matter how many times I come out here or how well I look and check, I always seem to find a couple more. So let's see what else we can get. I think that might be it for this run. I'm sure, again, I'm probably missing a few. I wonder if I'll see them while I'm editing, but I'm gonna take these ones in and freeze this zucchini so it doesn't go bad, because we have zucchini kebabs, we have fried zucchini, we have roasted zucchini, we have had zucchini every way possible the past couple weeks. Oh, I also forgot that I should probably check my extra cucumbers that I had up along the trellises. I had a couple extra, so I planted them over here on the end of the trellises. The deer did get to this one, but it's still growing like crazy. Okay, I think this one is the only one on here right now. Let's go check the other one on the other end. My tomatoes have ripened. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm gonna come back for these. Back on my cucumber hunt. This is a market more versus the pickling like this one. So you can see already the size difference. And again, these market more ones will get a lot bigger. I just like to pick the ones lower down just so they don't get icky. Okay, I think that was it on this one. These plants are huge. There is one lower down, but it's super tiny. While I've got the basket loaded up, I am going to take it over to the zinnias and get a cute picture for Instagram. Look at all these zinnias. This row is growing beautifully. I did notice the other day though, there are some holes. Those holes are from the Japanese beetles. So like that guy. But I did also see some assassin bugs which kill the Japanese beetles. So that's a plus. I will also make sure that I insert the harvests from our blackberries, and our blueberries have started to ripen. So I will put those in. Again, I'm going to take a couple quick pictures for Instagram. Okay, so this is the counter where I bring all of our harvests and the baskets and everything. You can see I got a couple more zucchini to do. I got a couple cucumbers that I already had. I think what I'm going to do is turn these all into cucumber relish. I might do some zucchini relish and can that. I try to can versus freeze just because if anything were to ever happen and the freezer turned off, at least I know that it's preserved and we don't have to worry about it. As you can see, I do have a box of mangoes. Mangoes are on sale here for like 40 cents right now. So I like to can those as well because my kids really love fresh fruit and mangoes. So we are gonna get those canned, some relish made, and maybe freeze some of the zucchini. We're still getting a ton of zucchini, so because I don't have any zucchini relish canned, I think that's what I'm gonna do. I know I said I was gonna freeze it earlier. I will show you guys that in a later video. So if I end up filling the jars that I have and I get too busy, I might just freeze some of these just so they don't go bad, or we might have it with dinner. Again, these were on sale, so I got a bunch of those. I'll can those as well. So we're gonna make some relish. And can some fruit today. I've got a bunch of blackberries. I'll pull those out of the freezer so you guys can see how many I have. All right, so I picked these ones this morning. These are the ones that I just pulled out of the freezer. We've been getting at least a jar a day. I know this doesn't seem like a lot, but I like to preserve and can things in small batches just because it's easier, and especially with kids and them needing me regularly, especially with the baby, I can can this in 10 minutes and have it processing and not have to worry about it. Again, if you were to weigh this, you would start by weighing the blackberries, and then you would weigh out either equal amounts or less than. Again, I did half, so I did half the amount, so I would weigh out half the amount of what the blackberries weighed for sugar. I just estimated, I got it in the pot. I am using pectin for this recipe. If you do not like to use pectin, you do have to cook it down a lot and you just don't get as much jam, so I use pectin. So another reason I do small batch stuff is because, especially if I'm doing multiple things like fruit in syrup, I'll do a light syrup for these, just cubed mangoes. I'll show you guys when I do that, as well as the blackberry jam. I just like to do it this way because the processing time is the same. So I'll get 4 jars of these, probably 4 to 6, maybe even 8 jars. I always underestimate when I'm doing fruit, and I will process these for about 10-15 minutes depending on the size of the jar. So like I mentioned, I do half the amount of sugar to berries. I estimated I have about 4 cups of blackberries, so I did 2 cups of sugar, and I am going to be using pectin for my recipe. If you want to, you don't have to. It just requires you to cook it down a lot more, and I don't like to lose any of the jam that I could possibly have, so I just use pectin for mine. If you wanted it to be more precise, you could use a Ball Blue Book recipe or something like that, and you could weigh out your blackberries. You would weigh out your Yeah, is that funny? You would weigh out your blackberries, and then you would weigh out your sugar. Usually, if you're doing a no pectin recipe, it would be equal weight for blackberries, equal weight for sugar. Blackberries naturally have a lot of pectin in them, so this would be a great recipe to do a no pectin jam. So I'm just gonna add my pectin, and then I'm gonna bring this to a boil for probably 3-ish minutes, and then it will be ready to put in the jars. And I'm also going to be adding a splash of lemon juice, about that much. Again, I don't really measure. So same with recipes, same with when I cook. I know some people are very against rebel canning, which is I guess what this would be considered, because I'm not using a recipe. However, I've made jam a million times. I'm not gonna look at a recipe every time I do it. It just takes more work. I'm gonna get this started and get my mangoes prepped. Yeah. So while the blackberries are cooking down, I am going to make my light syrup for the mangoes. I'm gonna prep the mangoes and everything. If you're doing a light syrup like I'm doing, I'm gonna do probably, got quite a bit of mangoes, so I'm gonna do 4 cups of water, 2 cups of sugar. I'll taste it. If I want more, I'll add more, but fruit is usually pretty sweet. So again, I don't like to use a ton of sugar if I don't have to. The kids don't need. I will not be cooking the mangoes in the syrup. Some people do that, called hot packing, and I just raw pack a lot of my stuff, beans, everything pretty much if I can. Saves a lot of time. I've never had a problem with it. If you're uncomfortable doing that, you could obviously put the mangoes in with the syrup, heat it up, mix it up, and then put it in your jars. And I also just remembered that I do have some pickling liquid left from a short that I uploaded where I pickled garlic scapes, pea pods, and beets. So I will use that to do the relish that I'm going to be doing for the cucumbers that we picked and the zucchini that we picked. All right, I turned the jam down while I was doing the mangoes, so that's bubbling. This is hot. I'm gonna bring it up to a boil, and I'm gonna start packing all of the mango pieces into my jars. All right, so I just finished filling my jam jars. I'm gonna wipe the rims with vinegar and then put the lids on. And then I've got my pot here boiling, which I'm going to get that up to a boil while I am filling all of these with my simple syrup. All right, so I've got all my lids on finger tight, and you want to make sure that the water in your pot is about the same temperature as the liquid or whatever you have in your jars, because if you put the hot jars and the hot liquid into cold water in this pot, they will crack. And because they are hot, I am just going to use my little jar grabber and put them in here gently, and I will process all of these for 10 minutes. If you guys are interested, I will add my code for 4 jars. As you can see, most of my lids are 4 jars lids. They always seal. They are what I use most unless I buy lids or jars, that already have other lids. Ooh, tight fit. Okay. I'm gonna get these down in the water. When they come to a boil, I will set my timer for 10 minutes. I do still have quite a bit of the simple syrup left, so I will put this in the fridge to use next time I can, and I'll just reheat it next time I plan to can something, the same way I'm gonna do with the leftover pickling liquid when I make the relish with the zucchini and the cucumbers. I took a quick break to feed the kids some lunch. All of these have sealed. They are all done. I am going to head outside and see if I have any peppers. I think I have a couple ready that I can put in the zucchini relish. Normally you put red peppers and green peppers in them. I don't think any of my red peppers will be ready. The red peppers don't do anything other than contribute color, so I'm not too worried about it. So the relish recipe is just zucchini, onion, vinegar, sugar, celery seed, a couple other seasonings, but I will share it up on the screen for you guys. That way, if you want to, you can copy it. Okay, so this first row is sweet peppers. I do have a sweet pepper here. I want to say I had one or two more. Oh yeah, okay, I got another one here. These ones are kind of little, but if I pick them now, it will help the flowers up top produce more. Couple tiny ones up in there, so I will leave those, but I am also going to, I think, grab one of my lemon spice, which is like a jalapeno, but it will turn yellow if I had left it on the vine. You got it for me, buddy? Oh, okay. Can you get it? Good job, dude. Let's go. But I did also notice that I do have some of my regular jalapenos look really good, but they're super tiny. Maybe these aren't jalapenos. I don't think these are jalapenos. These might be another pepper. Where's my tag? Oh goodness. Either way, this is a spicy pepper. I'm gonna add it. I'm gonna have a lot of zucchini. I like things a little spicy. These are my California Wonder. This is the one that I was looking for. Okay, I will add that to the bunch of peppers. So we're gonna be adding all these ones. Okay, so it's a little early for me to pull my onions, so I'm just gonna use these few that I bought at the store. And I keep calling it zucchini relish, but I'm probably just gonna add the cucumbers in with the zucchini relish, all the peppers and everything like that, all in one. You won't even be able to tell once you've already cooked them and put them in the jars and processed it. So I just finished getting, I just finished getting all the relish canned. My husband's in there changing the outlets. I don't know when the pantry renovation video is going to go up. I've been recording throughout the whole process. Again, if you follow us on Instagram, I keep more up to date on what's going on. I'm watching Harry Potter. I've got 13 jars of the relish. Again, I will link that down below, as well as put the recipe on the screen that I kind of follow. Again, I don't follow everything to a T, so I will see you guys next video, and as always, thank you for watching.